Good morning, beautiful people. So, I was stopped because I was speeding. Well, now you're going to be a murderer, an adulterer, a thief, a conspirator. Yeah. Name all the laws that you just broke because you just sped and got a ticket. Now, you're on death row now, too. Oh, let's talk about that. 5 minutes with Frankie. 5 minutes with Frankie.
5 minutes
to talk about the Lord. Yeah. I forgot to set it up.
That's all right. No one cares.
Okay, so you get stopped for a speeding ticket and they put cuffs on you and you're on death row because once you broke the speeding limit, you broke
every law.
Every law that's on our books.
I see where you're going with this.
Okay. Now, to us, that doesn't make sense because we put levels on each of our punishments. Well, he did a little white lie, didn't hurt anybody, so he's not going to jail for that. Well, he lied to a corporation and got a lot of money, he's going to jail. Mm. But wait a minute, that's a lie and that's a lie. Yeah. So what's the difference? Oh, he cheated on one test, but if you plagiarize, we're ripping it up. You get a 0. Well, he's missed half the year, and so he's failing this grade. He has to be held back. Well, they don't do that anymore. Bad example. We put levels on things. Well, they committed adultery. And like they're going to be shunned by everyone, and the letter A on their chest. But he looked at pornography today. That's the same thing. You committed adultery. So we as humans like to put levels on things. God doesn't, because He is holy, He is righteous, He is beyond sin. He does not sin. He cannot be around sin. He is holy. He is righteous. So any sin is the same sin as all the other sins because you can't be around any of it. None of it. Sin is missing the mark, or when God tells you to do something, you don't do it, or God tells you not to do something and you do it. That's a sin. It's a term for archery. You miss the center mark. And if you miss the center mark, no matter where you're outside that center mark, it's still missing the mark. It doesn't matter if it's a little bit off or 10 feet off. You're still missing the mark. So all sin is the same to God. All law breaking is the same to God. Because He's the one that gave the law, and He's the one that dictates what's right and wrong. So if we sin, we've done it all. Look at what James says. James chapter 2, verse 9 through 10. But if you show partiality or favoritism, you are committing sin and are convicted by law as transgressors. That's just partiality. Like when we say, oh, no, I wouldn't let that person in my house and sleep, even though they're cold and almost freezing to death because they're drug dealers. Or they're whatever. Just name a thing that you wouldn't have in your house. Or even they have a different color. They're a different culture. They're illegal immigrants. We're not putting those people in our house. You've just had partiality. You've just had favoritism. Well, who's going to protect you? God. Well, what if they do this, this, and this? Then we get to go to heaven. I mean, yeah, we have to be smart, but on the other hand, partiality is such a damaging thing. Favoritism it splits up families, it hurts people, it hurts schools, it hurts governments, it hurts everybody. When you play favoritism. And then he even goes deeper. He says this: for whoever keeps the whole law, but fails in one point, has become guilty of all of it. Everything. Like, well, I didn't do this law today, but I've kept everything else. Sorry, you done, son. So we have to realize when we come to Jesus, that's why grace is so important. That's why His blood covering us is so important, because we cannot do the law. We just can't. There's nothing in us that's good enough to keep the law. Because once we broke one piece of the law, we're done. We can't make that up. And so Jesus came, and he shows no partiality. All people, all races, all creeds, all colors, all backgrounds, all political parties, all religious people have to come to Jesus. That there's no favoritism. You name a person, and they have to come to, even the Pope, the president, the most holy of people in other religions. All of them have to bow their knee to Jesus. Every one of them. And if they don't, then they're living in their sin. And if they're living in their sin, then they've broken everything that the Bible even stands for. That's why we need Jesus. So my encouragement for you today is stop showing partiality and come to Jesus. Every one of us has to come to Jesus. We've all broken the law. We've all broken his commandments. The only way we can actually do his commandments the right way is to have the Holy Spirit, because we love him. Not because we have to, but because we love God so much and he's given us so much that we want to do those things daily. I love you. Jesus love you too. You have a great, what is it? Thursday. Anyway.
Okay, weirdo.
That's about it. All right, love you. Bye.